The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get
He missed the complete that. He's crazy
Side by side,
stuff.
Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
When you think of the biggest track in iRacing, you think of Talladega. While the Patriot Fire Cup Series schedule, the biggest track isn't in Oval in Alabama. It's a road course in Wisconsin. Road America, a 4-mile beast, is stop number 9 for the Premier Racing League, and you'll see it all on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing channel. Just a stone's throw from our neighbors to the north, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin is a small town 364 days a year. However, today is the day it becomes a big city as race fans camp out and enjoy the action at Road America. Good evening, I'm Chris Scallis. Sean Ambrose is with me as always tonight. I'm Jed Yaman working in the truck, and Dougie Beard, of course, controlling the cameras as he does each and every night. And well, tonight, 4 miles of cameras, so we definitely got a lot of pictures to show you this evening of this awesome racetrack. Now, Sean, this is the second race of the season on a road course. We were in Sonoma a few weeks back. However, today's that big road course the guys see on the season. Tell us about this awesome Road America.
Chris, the best test of road racing in North America is here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. This 4-mile road course, 4.1 miles, we'll say, 6.5 kilometer, 14 turn course is a legend, sir. It's only one of a handful of road circuits in the world that maintains its original configuration. And now, that being said, this track was built a long time ago, opened in 1955. They've been racing up here ever since. Speaking of racing, why don't we hop on board in the GSRC Monster Energy Cup car now for a ride around Road America.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Chevy SS, so let's do a lap around Road America. Coming down to turn 1, it's the fastest part of the course with the car hitting over 180 miles an hour. You've got a heavy braking zone and a great place to try to execute a pass. Be gentle on the power at the exit to avoid spinning the car and hold left to set up for turn 3. This is one of the most important corners on the track. Your run out of the corner is going to have a big impact on your lap time, so focusing on the exit will pay dividends. There was a writer for a car magazine who once described driving a stock car on a road course like swatting a fly with a sledgehammer. The Moraine Sweep makes the comparison clear with the incredible speed you'll gather down this snaking stretch. Turn 5 will be another great place for an overtake, but be forewarned that the braking is downhill with a slight bend. Those will complicate matters and tends to cause drivers to overshoot this left-hander frequently. From there, it's a short blast up to 6, where the crest will make it difficult to get the car woed up. Balancing the car around here is certainly an art. Another quick run, and you'll just brush the brakes into 7 before hitting the hurry downs. If you're having trouble finding your way around another driver, this bend sometimes offers a good place for a surprise attack. You still don't want to overshoot the turn, but if you do, thankfully it's not far before the carousel, so you won't lose much time. This turn will test your patience though. You're dropping downhill the whole way and the car loves to understeer. But a wise line will take you a bit wide so that you can square off the exit and get a run towards the kink. Granted, I wouldn't advise trying to pass into the kink if you catch someone. Even in these big heavy cars, it's frighteningly fast and will punish the smallest of mistakes with a race-ending wreck. Now we're in the kettle bottoms and you'll want to line up the car for the braking zone of Canada Corner. This is another spot where ambition is often greater than the grip available and drivers sail it off into the kitty litter all the time. The track is going to climb back uphill though, and once again you'll just graze your brake pedal to get the car to turn into 13. Then, switch back quick and be careful to slow it down in the curved braking zone for the final corner. This is another critically important turn to nail the exit on. Unlike the other long straights, this has a huge climb uphill where any lack of momentum is going to be made worse. Hopefully, you kept it all together. If so, you finished a lap around Road America.
It's long and winding. That is Road America. Chris is with a driver who might just be the point leader after the race tonight, Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, Tommy joins us here in the booth. Tommy, you got an opportunity tonight. I know there's a drop included here, but you have an opportunity to be the point leader this evening because there's no Scott Eckrich, there's no Bob Bryant. They're both out. You're third in points, so next one up. Talk about the opportunity it presents you tonight.
Yeah, it's there, man. I just got to keep it on the asphalt, and it's gonna be a tough one, man. This place, the car gets out of shape on the curbs if you get on the throttle too quick. Just got to really race this racetrack and don't screw it up. That's really what it's going to be.
That's pretty simple. Now, obviously, you've had a great start to the season. Go back to the Daytona 300 and winning the pole in that race. That was a great start for you into the season. You've had some good finishes, and you sit third in points. Talk about the success, easy for me to say, that you've had this season.
Yeah, we started out really great. Popping out like top 10s every time. And it's really, really hard to finish up in the top 5 in this thing. Guys have really brought their A game this season. The last couple races, man, I had some real bad decision making near the end, and just poor driving. I got in the back of Brian Yazek at Texas. Was going to finish somewhere in the top 10 there, and killed both mine and his deal. And did the same thing last week at Kansas. Coming out of the last corner, coming through the white flag, the thing just about came around on me, collected my teammate, and was going to finish the top 10 there too, and ended up like 15th. So the last couple of weeks have not been real good for me. I've got to get it turned around if I'm going to, stay in the hunt. But it's competition's high here, man. These guys push you to your wits' end, man, and get the best out of you. So we just got to keep the hammer down, man, and make good decisions and don't beat ourselves.
And that's easier said than done, as they say in racing. But you got 3 weeks left. You got tonight, Elkhart Lake, probably your toughest test. Then you go to Gateway next week, and then of course the finale at the Kentucky Speedway, if I remember correctly. So 3 different styles of tracks to go get this championship potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping for a top 5 here. Next 2 weeks, man, we get the Gateway. These things people are going to be shoving them down in the corners, and hopefully we have a decent, clean race next week. And Kentucky will be Kentucky. It shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, we're going to keep digging, man, and see what we get out of this thing. It's a great place to race, man. Thanks to DJ Beverly, Coastal Safety Officers, Patriot Fire. Freaking James puts on a hell of a show over here. He's got a lot on him. He gets a bunch of crap every week. Nobody's, well, I ain't gonna say nobody. A lot of people are not happy some weeks, but it's a good deal.
Well, we'll let you get off here and go qualify. So good luck and best. I mean, we'll talk to you Victory Lane tonight. Who knows?
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Tommy Ryan going to go jump in the 6th car and get some laps in. It looks like they get the typical 10 minutes of time here, but they're just going to shorten up the meeting here. So we could talk a little bit here, Sean, about what's going on tonight. 156 miles. It's a 250-kilometer race. So if you don't know what kilometers are, just go Google it real quick. With that said, 39 laps will make up the 156 miles in tonight's race, the halfway point, lap number 20, in which bonus points are going to be awarded. Now, there is going to be a caution tonight, somewhere between lap 10 and lap 21. The only person that knows when that caution is going to be thrown is Big Joe Hassel, who is the admin tonight. So Big Joe will know when to throw that yellow, and who knows, maybe he's got some kind of random lotto thingy that he pulls out a number, decides with that one. But either way, that will be the one big curveball that we see tonight at Road America. But Sean, let's take a look at the points entering tonight. Reminder, we do have the one drop that's in play, but we are definitely going to see a couple of changes tonight.
I think Big Joe's going to be using a magic 8-ball actually to determine the.
Should I throw the lap now?
Yes.
You are ugly. What?
Let's look at the spring standings here after Kansas here in the Patriot Fire Cup Series. It shows Bob Bryant there at the top all alone, but Bob's not here this week. And that could be a problem for him at the top because Scotty Eckrich and Nick Cohan lurking just back there in second and third. Go a little bit further down, you see Tommy Ryan in a good battle with Tyler Dalton and Drew Carroll. Ricky Harden knotted up there for sixth. Brian Mellendorf back in eighth. James Krahula moving up the charts like a bullet. Chris there in ninth. And Tim Johnston rounding out the top 10 for the spring standings. Let's take a quick look now at the season standings as we basically are getting really close here to wrapping up this segment. And these are the overall season standings now. Bob Bryant there at the top. Scott Eckrich only 13 points behind. That's obviously going to change just a bit tonight, we think. Nick Cohan there in third. Tommy Ryan, okay, in that battle with Tyler Dalton. Then you drop back to Drew Carroll, Brian Mellendorf, Ricky Harden, Tim Johnston, and Brian Yazek all really knotted up there, Chris, for a really tight battle here in the standings. But I got to be honest with you, it looks you give me money on Mellendorf and Yazek to possibly move up the ladder tonight. I think I take that money.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had the opportunity to do that here this night, Sean, as we're watching everybody get their warm-up laps in before qualifying, and they're out here looking like me at the Nürburgring, just making sure they keep it straight and then get on the track and go run that fast couple laps here. But let's get through our keys for this evening. And you kind of hit on it a little bit just now, but I'll ask again. Who can pounce tonight as the top two in points are missing?
I think Brian Mellendorf can pounce this evening. I think, he had good speed in practice. He's a bit of a roadie. I like his chances. James Krahula got a pretty good head for the road courses, and Brian Yazek, another guy that's got a really good head for the road courses too. So I think there's a few names that you could look at there. Tommy Ryan, another one. There's definitely going to be some moving and shaking tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be a tough night for some guys here. If they haven't put in the work here this week, Chris, it's going to be a long evening. 39 laps is going to seem like 139 here. A lot of places to make a mistake. The braking zone's very, very tough. This car does not want to stop.
And you mentioned the braking zones and the narrow track. This is not the widest track of them all. You look at you're seeing this group and now Mellendorf here. You're seeing a Sprint Cup car, and there's really not much. Or Sprint Cup, yep, there's money in the jar. Monster Energy car going down the straightaway here, and it's not that wide. So let me ask this question. Keeping it on the asphalt, key number 2 tonight.
Yeah, well, definitely keep it on the asphalt. Listen, there's a lot of trouble to be found here, okay? Make no mistake about that. You want to keep this car on the track. We don't get any fast repairs here, Chris. I think one of the big trouble spots tonight for a lot of guys that certainly might be light on practice is going to be coming down the Moraine sweep down into turn 5, the 90-degree left-hander. You're coming over a crest at about 180 miles an hour. Well, your braking zone starts right about there at the crest in this car. So if you miss that braking mark, you're going to run straight out, probably into the barrier, at least off into the dirt. Real big slowdown there is really going to kill you, because the trip through the trip up to turn 7 and down to Hurry Downs, also very, very tricky. And again, that's a momentum killer. That middle section of the course is going to be big trouble for some guys tonight.
Now, I'm going to add to that. I think another key corner is going to be when you come out of that carousel, because it is already slicker than ice. Then you go down into the kink. We've seen so many wrecks in the kink, and I think that could be a corner where if you just miss your apex by barely, you're out in the tire barriers.
Oh yeah,
you don't want that to happen. Not to mention you go down to Canada corner, which is another 90-degree right.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that you're carrying all that speed into Canada corner there, Chris. your braking zone really starts really basically at what they call turn 11B. As you start to move off to the left there, and you're already having to slow the car down just to get through Canada. It's going to be fun, and that Canada probably at some point may turn into a parking lot. I mean, bring your umbrella and your beach towel. That might be a good place to watch the race from. You talked about the carousel. Now, I did some laps on the track here earlier. There's no grip in that carousel. None, Chris. And you're going to be really challenged to keep the power down and make that car stick through there.
So it's going to be very tricky tonight. And, of course, the last key I had for this evening, who can time the caution out. So we'll have to watch that here this evening and see who can get the caution and who pits before the caution and is able to cycle out in the lead, because you can easily get out on the lead lap when it's all over with. So got about 2.5 minutes left, and qualifying on this long track obviously makes this kind of tricky. So we'll get the pull award here very shortly for the MP3 Designs pull award for the evening. We have the national anthem still to do here, and get through this couple of things.
Well, Chris, you talk about the caution, okay, and who can time that. You're going to need a pit stop before that caution comes out.
Okay.
You're. I was talking to James earlier. You're going to need that. The question is where. Okay, how quickly do you pit? The window's actually kind of big, so. But he seemed to think that you're gonna want to try and beat that caution to get that first pit stop, and then that second caution possibly sets you up to finish the race.
Which then, leads to my question here. Do you pit right at lap 10? When the window opens for that caution, do you pit at that point so your first stop is done and you just go into the next caution? Or does that hurt your tires later and you almost got to kind of guess from there?
That driver I mentioned, James Krahula, certainly got the hint that that pit stop might come up early.
Well, and then when he pits, if I'm anybody in his field, when he pits, I'm following him, because I don't know what it is with his luck, but he seems to bring the yellow with him. So we'll have to see how that all works.
Weren't we talking about that just last week, I think it was?
Yeah, I think he was going down pit road, and I said, yeah, here is the pit. Caution's out, right on cue. If it happens tonight, I'm taking him to the nearest grocery store and getting a lotto ticket.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's not hurting himself so far with his qualifying effort. Already having his 2 laps down, Krahula finds himself, I think, about 6th on the board right now. So
what we're going to do here before we get our MP3 Design Pull Award winner, we're going to step aside. We're going to honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And back at Road America as we get ready for 39 laps of racing around this 4-mile road course. And right now it's time to give the NP3 Designs Pole Award winner. And last second, better late than never, Josh Skrupa has taken the pole with a 2-minute, 5-second lap, .591. We're going to get that lap queued up here so you could check it out as Josh Skrupa has gotten the NP3 Designs Pole Award. And unfortunately, with the replays on a 4-mile track, we got to hit a button a couple times. But here it is, the MP3 Designs Pull Award as he goes down to turn 2 here and got long straightaway, as you mentioned, Sean, all the way down to a 90-degree turn 5.
Yeah, and this is where you're going to carry all this speed. You climb the hill here, get all the way up to fourth gear. You are fully wrapped out right about here as you get to the top of the hill. Then you got to get on the brakes really hard, under control, to control yourself through this left-hander and make your way up to the Corvette Bridge.
And this is a blind corner here. You come up the hill here and you plateau and bam, you turn left. And you get another long straightaway here before you get a right-hander. And this is a very technical part of the track.
Yeah, it is. That right-hander is very tough. You've got to be careful through there. And then you've got to set yourself up for this very high-speed left-hander here. And this is where it starts to get tricky, Chris. You head yourself under the Johnsonville Bridge and then through the carousel. This is where it's tough to manage the car.
Yeah, this is very tricky. And here's where you're going to come up on that kink. And you got to hit this apex perfect. Because you're wide open here. You got to get out of the throttle. Nail the apex, let it drift back out there, and then you're full blast down here to Canada Corner. A couple little curves, everything, trees, and all that good stuff around you there. And every once in a while, if you drive an Indy car, you might see an animal go through there, and it's never pretty when that happens.
No, and then the trip up the hill here, the left and the right, very, very tough to keep the power down without that car sliding away from you.
And there you go, up the hill as Josh Krupa takes the MP3 Designs Pole Award. A lap of 2 minutes, 5 seconds, .591. The car's just rolling off. Should mention, Jeff Ward is going to be given an EOL penalty. Also, Randy Oakham, I think these are due to claims on the wrecks. But let's take a look at our starting lineup for this Elkhart Lake 250 here. It's Road America starting on the pole, as we mentioned, Josh Krupa, and alongside him going to be Ricky Harden.
And then you're going to go to Brian Yazik. Tommy Ryan going to round out row 2.
Brian Mellendorf there in the 5th position. Tyler Dalton a little under the weather tonight. We know how that works when you're under the weather in a sports event. Dalton could pull a surprise.
All right, row 4 going to be James Grula and Paul Pepper.
Sergeant Pepper there in the 8th position. Tim Johnston inside of row number 5 alongside Thomas George, who's been consistently fast.
Row 6, Woodrow Mahan, Gerald Livingston. I'm sorry, Jonathan Cadell and Woodrow Mahan. My bad there.
Good job, Sean. Good job, buddy. Gerald Livingston. Reed Rundell there at row number 7. Hey, no one's perfect.
All right, I'll get it right now. Nick Cohan, Rick Thompson.
Josh King going to start there inside of row number 9, the WWE car of Justin Rodden in 18th.
Row 10, Michael Krobach and Matt Murphy.
Krobach finally getting a good finish last week and not a good start. Randy Oakham alongside Jeff Ward, who again got that EOL.
All right, row 12, Calvin Filarski, Devin Cannon.
You missed McQuiston, but McQuiston, Filarski, Cannon, Wilco, and then Rich Jetty and Don Runkle Jr. in 28th. It's Sean's got a little backwards tonight. It's okay.
You know what?
It's a road course. It's road course.
That's what I get for looking at my timing and scoring and not at the actual graphic. My bad, guys. But I think we got everybody in, didn't we?
Sean, we got 50-inch plasma screens as our monitors in here. How do you not look at them? Remember, we have Amjad with us. I know Keith gives us the little 19-inchers at the BRL races Saturdays, but here we get the monitors because Amjad brings them.
You know, Chris, the start of this race is going to be exciting because turn 1 gets very, very narrow, or it gets very, very wide if you like playing out in the dirt. And I don't think that's where you want to be to start this race.
Well, I'm more worried about coming into that corner because you're going to have cars spread out just trying to get the jump up the hill, and then you might see some 2, 3, and if there's room 4 wide to turn 1, I think of Jacques Villeneuve a few years ago in the Xfinity race, going into turn 1 and was out in the grass, and I mean, you could have played yakety sax going to turn 1 because you knew the wreck was coming. As they go through Canada Corner one last time, going to start climbing the elevation here to turn 15, the left-hander into turn 16, and then they'll come up the hill and get the green flag for 39 laps of racing, 156 miles, 250 kilometers, 14 corners, and what is the longest road course in North America. Should we call it the Spa in America? Either way,
it's definitely, yes.
We're ready to go road racing, my friend. Up the hill and they're green. Already 3 wide. Mellendorf gets jumped pretty much.
Wow, what a jump by Scrupa there. Here comes Brian Yazik up the inside into one.
Yazik trying to dive in on Ricky Hart, not able to do so as the 25er Scrupa pulls out. A pretty good size lead to everybody. I think they've hit through turn 1 clean. Jim Johnson started on pit road. Interesting move on his part. Turn 2 clean. This is where it's going to get interesting. You get some wheel hop here. Oh, 64 diving it in there. They're 4 wide in the corner. Cohen gets the roll in there. Gerald Livingston driving in like he stole it. Something tells me that's not how you turn 5. Oh, got some damage on Calvin Filarski's number 28. Big time nose damage.
Yeah, Calvin picking up a little bit of damage there. That's not going to be good for the car. That's going to give him trouble with the grip.
Through the carousel here. Woodrow Mahan with heavy rear damage on the 12. I'm assuming that's who Filarski hit. You put 2 and 2 together there. Through the kink down towards Canada corner. Oh, Ricky Arden out in the kitty litter.
Living dangerously, just trying to get this first lap in.
Tell you what, Scrupa has pulled out already to about a 0.7 of a second lead as he comes off of turn 14. He'll come up the hill, lead the first lap, Sean. Fairly clean from what we thought could have happened.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. A little bit of trouble here and there, but mostly everybody gets off to a clean start with well, let's face it, they've really spread out here, Chris. Pretty much single file all the way around at this point.
Yeah, Mellendorf going to take the 5th position away from Tyler Dalton going into turn number 1 here. Looks like the only pass that we're seeing as right now, you mentioned everybody single file for the most part.
Yeah, Reed Rundell back here working on Gerald Livingston. Those two in a pretty good battle here for, that's for battle for 12th. Rundell, a little slow off the last turn, loses a little bit of momentum to him. But here at a long straight, gets a chance. We're going to see battle down into turn 5.
And just a little ways back here, Jeff Ward, who started in the back, he's gone inside adjusted rod, and you'll see that, drives it in there. Oh! Krobach almost ran over the 27.
Boy, I talked about that braking zone there, Chris. We're going to pick it up on replay here. He just misses it, man. A little bit too hot.
Thankfully, there was a little bit of an off part there. Wow.
Yeah.
Now,
That's going to happen.
This is kind of a home race for Krobach because obviously he's from Canada and you don't really go above the border here, so this might be the closest race to his home. But big gainers so far in this race. Already Travis McQuiston went up 7 spots, started 28th or 21st. You mentioned Jeff Ward. He's up to 18th and started shotgun on the field.
Yeah, Ward is moving too right now. He's clipping, baby. Got Nick Cohan, Josh King, and Reed Rundell all right up in front of him. And Cohan gets wide in Canada right in front of him. Ward now all over the bumper, gets around, makes that pass clean on Cohan up the hill there through the turn. Another spot for Jeff Ward there, Chris, as he makes the final turn now up the hill to the start-finish line. He'll settle into 15th.
Jeff Ward already moved up halfway through the field as they go by to complete lap number 2. Another car I've noticed with some damage. A guy you just talked about a second ago, Reed Rundell, and that 43 car's got a pretty damaged nose. Not sure where that came from.
That might have happened on the start, Chris. I'm not quite sure. Didn't catch it.
Oh, Murphy out in the litter.
Yeah.
Murphy spring braking down to turn 1. That's some wheel hopping. Now, he could have easily taken that car behind him. I didn't see who that was right there with him, but he could have taken, I think it was Rick Thompson, that he almost took with him.
Now, Chris, I must have missed the pass, but Yazik is now up to second. He got around Ricky Harden.
Yeah, Harden went off their turn 1 in Canada
That's
corner.
right.
That's where that pass
My
happened.
bad.
Yeah. No. But he is getting pressured by Tommy Ryan there in that number 6. Tommy, he talked about keeping it on the asphalt, keeping 4 on. That's going to be the key for this whole entire weekend. You know, it's kind of ironic we're running Road America when this weekend we have the 24 hours of the Nürburgring, or as I'm calling it for myself, a Sunday drive.
Yeah, this is a good group right here. And we got Mellendorf, Tommy Ryan, Ricky Harden, Brian Yazik, all line astern right now, heading down into Canada corner. And they're all going to manage that pretty well. Nobody gets it off in the dirt. Oh, Mellendorf gets a little wicked there. But these are the roadies. These are the guys that, I quite honestly was looking at when this race started, Chris. I don't expect many mistakes from this group, but this track, it'll jump up and bite you at any turn.
Yeah, you got to be careful, especially in those heavy braking corners. You mentioned turn 1 there. You saw just a few minutes ago one car going off over there in turn number 1. You mentioned the Canada corner. That's where Ricky Harden went off in the 15 and lap number 1. There's so many places you can mess up at, especially these downhill corners here. As you see them come down the hill here to turn 2 with Yazik, that's a corner you can easily mess up and wheel hop. You go down here to turn 5, you're downhill this whole entire straightaway. Okay, I'm sorry, you're uphill here, but then downhill.
Then downhill.
You got to go up before you go down, I guess.
I'm continuing to monitor the progress of Jeff Ward out here, now up 8 spots. He's got a little company now, though. Josh King riding along with him, turning some pretty good laps here, but...
Oh! Mellendorf making a move there, and he took the position away, and Ricky Harden slid wide in the corner and into turn 7. Now, Mellendorf's trying to get Ricky Harden a 2-for-1er. Got them both. We need to talk to Doug about pulling the plug on cameras.
Yeah, getting a little racy up there early in this race, Chris.
Mr. Mellendorf, usually Mr. Long Run guy, he just kind of sat back, let the pack spread away, and he's like, I'm just going to take them piece by piece by piece. Oreo references. Meanwhile, Josh Grupa, he's at Lambeau Field right now, or at least running there. He's out to a 6.7 second lead, if I got that right. It looks
about
like
it's about 4.5 seconds, yeah.
All right, we got to fix the telemetry, too. It's bobbing everywhere.
Oh, Reed Rundell in the kink was off in the green. He gets back on the asphalt, but Jeff Ward gets right around him.
Yeah, that point of no return, that's usually the point of no return, the kink in grass.
Yeah,
Never
here it is
good.
on the replay. Here it is on the replay.
And I said the key, hit the apex. That's not hitting the apex. That's shortcutting the apex. Oh, the DRS sign almost took it. Bernie Ecclestone almost went nuts. And Rundell's off the pace here. He's pulling off the track here over, I think it's Canada corner he's at, or turn 2, but he's backing out. He's over at turn 14. Some reason, something happened to the 43. Not sure if he just said forget about it or what.
I don't know. We'll have to look into that. Maybe something broke on the car. Not sure. Tyler Dalton there being chased.
Yeah, I did talk to Tyler for a couple minutes this evening. He was going to be our pre-race interview, but he's a little under the weather, and did say thank you for the offer, but we'll try to maybe get him next week at Gateway.
Ooh.
But Tyler, he said to me, I want to keep it on the track.
You saw that right on the screen. Tyler having a little bit of trouble there. The car.
Well,
Oh, he still is off of the grass.
I think I'm putting the broadcaster jinx on him. We got to get off him.
Yeah. Turn 6. Not a good trip through there for Tyler Dalton. He gets back on the power here. Downhill into this left-hander. He's got to gather it up and get back into this rhythm. Krahula got around him up to 7th.
Krahula having a nice run. James started in the 8th position. That might actually be his best starting spot this season. He is been one of those kind of struggling and riding in the back a little bit to start these races, but he realizes how much strategy is going to come into play because one thing I do want to say, stand corrected on, I said at the beginning of the race between lap 10 and 21 will be the caution. I did check with Joe Hassard, who's the admin tonight, it's between lap 13 and 26 is the caution period. So it changes a little bit. Basically, it'll be any time between the 1/3 mark and the 2/3 mark in the race. And you notice what lap would be just close to that, the halfway point. So we got to be aware of that. Tell you what, a lot of cars getting happy off of turn 14. Just watch Yazik turn her sideways. But as you're seeing the battle here with Cadell and Jeff Ward, who's been easily one of the faster cars on the track here. He's coming up on 3 different cars of Livingston, Woodrow, Mahan, and the 11.
Yeah, this is going to be a good battle for 10th right now here. Mahan with that 10th spot. Livingston having a pretty good run trip up the hill, across the start-finish line. Let's see how deep he's going to break the car in here to turn 1.
Look at those brake rotors.
Yeah. Mahan gets a good trip through, and boy, Cadell really, really on the limit back there.
Now, one thing I'll say, Sean, I'm a big fan of little things. I always love little things in broadcasting and racing and all that stuff. And in iRacing, it's the same. And we were talking about before the race, but the brake rotors on these cars, the fact that you can go down to turn 5 here and see them glow is just really cool. And it's almost in any corner right now. As you ride on board with Jeff Ward, let's see if you can see the glowing red in his right front. A little bit, yeah, you see the glow there. That just shows you the braking with these cars.
Boy, Ward is still just a man possessed right now. He's caught this pack. Now he's looking to get himself into the top 10. Serious business here for Jeff Ward.
Yeah, Jeff Ward has definitely went to the Sean Ambrose School of Road Coursing.
I don't know about that. You better pick somebody better than that.
Well, I could say Amjad, I guess. You still say Amjad Yaman, the only man to ever go 3 wide by himself in Mid-Ohio.
Boy, Ward is just really attacking here. Oh, and he gets a bit of the grass. Oh, the car gets really wild through there.
Well, he's going to need 4 tires and some underbridges going into his first pit stop. Cadell putting pressure on at 64. He's got a crunched in rear end. A lot of cars with damage here. Should mention Ricky Harden has lost the position again. Tommy Ryan has gone by him for the 4th position. I think that happened a lap or so ago. But Tommy Ryan has gone by the 15. So Ricky is falling back from his 2nd place starting spot. And we have got a battle for 2nd on our hands. As Mr. Mellendorf is on Mr. Yazik.
Yeah, Mellendorf, one of those drivers that I expected would be a fast car tonight. He's proving how fast he can be. The Illinois driver giving a little pressure there to Mr. Yazik.
Yeah, battle of the Midwest area here, Michigan versus Illinois. Mellendorf got a pretty good run down in that corner. He had to get on the brakes a little harder. But one thing we should mention real quick while we're watching this battle, we always say if you want to chat with us, feel free to on the Global Sim Racing Channel YouTube chat. We do have our chat here to talk with us if you'd like to. Sean and I would like to talk to our viewers as we're broadcasting the race. If anybody has questions and things about road racing or these cars on a road course or how come these cars are on Road America, which I think is really cool, you can chat with us about that. Through the carousel, and Brian pushes up a little bit here. Let's see if one Brian can pass the other Brian. It's a life of Brian.
Yeah, Mellendorf really, really put the pressure. Oh, man. Bit of a mess there. I think...
Oh, something happened with Matt Murphy, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Murphy with trouble here. Let's pick it up on the replay.
Yeah, Murph's already been in the kitty litter in Canada corner. Let's see. Oh, trouble with the 27 on Jetty gets in there. Once again, Krobach's around a wreck, but he didn't get in it.
Yeah, and it started with Jetty. Jetty just spins it by himself.
That was Rodden who spun it, yeah, right in front there. He probably had some wheel hop.
I'm sorry.
You know, we might want to jump on board to 27 and see if you hear that. Back up, P2 actually. Mellendorf inside. I think Janzik's going to let him go here for a second. Brian Mellendorf trying to pull the sleeper move tonight.
Yeah, it's the nature of road racing. Sometimes you got to leave the replay for the action on track. It just happened so quickly. Mellendorf, though, with the smooth move, getting that position away from Jazik, finds himself now in second, but he's got 7 seconds to go catch just Josh Skrupa up the track.
And he's definitely shown he can do it. The fastest lap that time behind was Tommy Ryan at 2:09.1. So these cars are already falling off 3 seconds from the pole pace. Now, obviously, they're probably not driving it as hard. But still, they're doing enough to keep themselves out front or in whatever position they can do so.
Got a battle for 10th. Woodrow Mahan. Battle for 9th. Mahan taken away from Tyler Dalton. Dalton really, really slow through turn 5.
Now, Amjad's favorite Torino getting the pass on the SS there for the 8th position. The blue bullet. Not sure if it's faster than the silver bullet, but hey.
Well, he's been steady. He's picked up 3 spots early on in this race, and now he's going to go get Thomas George. Thomas only about a little over a second up there in front of him.
Jeff Ward, another pass. So he goes by Jonathan Cadell. Here comes Livingston Cadell side by side through the carousel. This is always tricky. You better figure it out before you get to the kink. Cadell going to try to cross him over. Thinks better of it.
Ooh! Oh, Cadell's going to pay for that. Cadell's going to pay for that.
That DRS sign is going to eat it before the end of the night.
Yeah, and boy, that cost him so much time. That's allowed Skrupa to reel him in. I'm sorry, Nick Cohan to reel him in.
Battle on for third. Tommy Ryan has caught the 55 of Jazik up the hill here. Jazik tires must be falling off as we've hit lap number 9. Next time by, the Ryan backing up that corner. Look at the runoff. Oh, Jazik's turning her sideways again. You see it right there from the back bumper.
Boy, Jazik worked so hard early, and boy, losing it now. Oh, Ricky Harden off in turn 1. Actually, was off in the grass. Harden continues to fall through the field. That allowed James Krahula to get by. Krahula now up to 6th.
Harden been having a rough time so far in this track as he's fallen back 4 positions, now 5 in this race. But this battle here continuing for P3. Tommy Ryan, who said he just wants to keep it on the asphalt. Brian Jazik, who a pretty good road racer himself. He's done a fair share of racing. I think it was last season, Mid-Ohio, the Grand National Series. He had a pretty good run. As he slides it wide, here comes Ryan. He gets a good run.
Boy, Brian,
here's a tough one. High line. You gonna try a high-low maybe here? No, he's got the better run now.
Brian really struggling with the car right now, it seems like, and just, boy, really having trouble getting the power down, Chris, and that really could be a sure sign that he has used up those tires and now just 10 short laps.
Yeah, it's all about pacing yourself and throttle control. Sometimes you got to put an egg under it. That Ford Fusion is kind of all over the place.
You know who we haven't talked about? We haven't talked about Paul Pepper. Pepper sitting there riding in 5th, up 3 spots on the track by himself right now, having a really nice run, but just eating up laps here, really consistent. Last lap was what, a 2:10.6? Not bad at all. Pepper having a really solid run here to get started and not having to battle with anybody, and honestly, that can be a good thing when you're sitting in 5th.
Well, the one thing that we're hoping for tonight, and the interesting situation we talked about on the air, if you watch the show Separated at Birth tonight, it's easily done to put Paul Pepper's car next to Tommy Ryan's car. Separated at Birth tonight, so let's hope those two don't battle each other, or else we're going to be like, who's who here? They have the exact everything colored matched perfect. They look back here, James Krahula, Ricky Harden, this is for the 6th position. Krahula there in that MP3 Designs number 4. He has been making a march up through the point standings. And some of us make the joke and say that he's Mr. Luck Guy. So as Thomas George in the background there off the track, at least on my screen it's on the background, but on board with hard, you didn't see it, but over in turn 2, Tommy did go off. Thomas, I should say. Looks like he just slides it wide in turn 2. Not sure if he wheel hopped her here or at the... no, he just took it too wide. Just drove it too deep.
Yeah, it's easy to do. You know, this track invites you to make mistakes, Chris. It's really the simple way I can put it.
And Josh Grupa is lead unofficially at about 12 seconds right now. I'm seeing it, but of course my numbers are bouncing back and forth here, so I'll just say between 10 and 15 seconds he's up right now on second place, Brian Mellendorf. He is running the perfect race right now. But I remember a red and black number 53 driven by Bob Bryan at Sonoma that ran the perfect race, and it all fell apart from him at the end.
Yeah. Nothing is in hand, Chris. You know, one of the things about running here, we were talking about this in the pre-race. Anything you know about this track, any car for our iRacing fans out there, any car you've driven here, the braking points, your reference points, anything you know about this track, throw it out, because this Cup car, it's a real chore to get around the track, Chris, and braking points totally different. Like I said, in anything you've ever driven here, it's a real beast to handle, more so at this track than I think just about any road course. Probably because of the speed, the incredible speed you're carrying into a lot of these turns.
Well, that's one factor, Sean. The other factors you have here is this car doesn't normally run this track. You don't see the Cup Series running at Road America. So there's no setup for it. So these guys had to go out in their off time and put setups together because the Grand National Series was here earlier this week, and it's a tricky, challenging track. And then not to mention, these cars just had the recent newer build, so they got the smaller spoiler and everything on them. So this is the first road race for this series with this style of car. And I think they've done a phenomenal job. We haven't seen many cars go off as you ride with Tommy Ryan as he tries to battle Brian Mellendorf. And look at this mess back here for 12th, I should say. Gerald Livingston, Thomas George here, Cadell, down to turn 5.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a hornet's nest all day. Nick Cohan sitting right back there and just behind them, but the battle with Cadell and I'm sorry, Gerald Livingston right there is real, but Cadell getting the better of it, now focusing on Thomas George as he is able to get by Gerald Livingston.
Tell you what, now I don't know if we can get a shot of the right side door of Cadell as you're seeing our little Thomas George in the kitty there again. But Cadell's got a little bit of right side damage, like he's either made contact with a wall or something. We'll have to see that here in a second if we get a good shot of it. But meanwhile, George gets to the back of Livingston, sends him packing.
Get out of the way, Gerald Livingston. Let's watch this on the replay here, Chris. I'll let you call it.
Yeah, basically, I think they both just got wide, and Thomas just gets in the back of Livingston, and Livingston going Dukes of Hazzard through the kitty litter.
Good job by Livingston hanging onto the car there. And
yeah,
not
that could have been bad.
Yeah, it could have been.
I mean, thankfully, it was also a wide section of the track there, too.
You know, the big winner in all of that was Nick Cohan. He picked up 2 spots and now finds himself, here threatening to get himself into the top 10.
We got cars on pit road. Yazik on pit road. Also, Paul Pepper coming in. It's the loud pedal guys mostly coming to the pits here.
Yeah, lots of guys. Here comes Nick Cohan. He's got Thomas George behind him. Yeah, the dominoes are falling here quick.
Sean, this is the first lap. Next lap is the first lap that the caution could be thrown in. Here's where that window opens up, and get to pit road before the caution comes out. Thomas George with a pretty good little buckle on his nose there.
Boy, I would expect to see a lot of drivers next time by.
Justin Rodden off hard in the grass. Turn 1 here, or just shy of turn 1. That car's destroyed. I just caught it as Yazik was coming out of pit road. It was Rodden in the 27. I just saw Yazik coming out of the pits, and there's Rodden. I don't know. Did he clip the pit wall, maybe? Just rolling down pit speed. He's on the right here. There's a wall up here. If he doesn't look out, he clipped it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Black screenish, if I may say. Interesting.
Very indeed. So Yazik slots back out as the leader of those cars that have pit. He slots back out into 11th place.
Michael Krolbach with heavy nose damage. I think he got in the back of somebody. He's coming up to the pits right now. I did hear him apologize to somebody last lap.
Mellendorf coming in.
And Krolbach's going to be a lap down now. He's right here with the leaders pretty much. So, ugh.
Heavy damage on that car, too.
Krahula coming to the pits. Now, they can haul all types of mail up to these cones right here. And then you got to get down to pit speed, which I believe is 55, 60 mile an hour speed. That's pace car speed, so 45. And this is a long pit road.
Yes, sir. Pit speed 45 miles an hour. And you're right. It is a doozy. Pretty long trip down there. You're going to lose. Well, you're not going to lose. Everybody's got to do it. But the pit delta, about 45 seconds, Chris. Ooh, back of the field here. Snoop Doggy Don. We haven't mentioned him much tonight. Battling for 20th place and gets off track in the kink. And that allows Calvin Filarski to get it by. And they are battling everywhere here right now, Chris.
Yeah, Runkle's zigging and zagging a little bit there on the in the kink area here, but he's having his troubles, but doing a good job there in the 20th position. This track definitely playing fits for others. As Krolbach still on pit road, others getting tires and fuel. Krahula out of the pits here. Leader still Josh Skrupa. Tommy Ryan is now up to second. We have hit that window. As we cross the line next time by, we will complete lap 13, and between now and lap 26, the caution will be thrown at some point.
At some point, yes, sir. When will that point be?
Oh, John Wilco's in the kitty litter here in the Canada corner. He's got some heavy damage on that car. And for listeners' sakes, I will not do the goofy sound. Apparently, Reed Rundell blew up from what we're seeing with too much front-end damage, as he says in chat. It's a tough break for Mr. Harley Davidson.
Yeah, definitely a tough break there for Reed. Things just didn't work out for him tonight, but that's okay. He'll get to fight back next week.
Hey, what, the fight is still on up here. Let's climb to the 8th place battle. Tyler Dalton, Thomas George, Matt Murphy is in here, and Jonathan Goodell. I believe all four of these are for position as I'm looking here. Murphy isn't pitted, so he's getting blown by pretty much.
Well, James Krahula coming out of his pit stop back on track. He just gets himself up to 9th. He just made a pass on McQuistion, who hasn't pitted. Okay. And that was actually a pass for position.
Yeah, Krahula, you mentioned he is now up to the 12th position. I guess this is going to be when it's all said and done. You got to wait for everybody to cross the line. But Jeff Ward and Woodrow Mahan are on pit road. Two more of the loud pedal guys. Jeff Ward, definitely the big climber so far in this race. He's pitting out of the 4th position after starting shotgun. And rolling away is Jeff Ward, 12-9 on the stop. So super great stop by that crew. And Krolbach taking his car behind the wall. Unfortunately, another DNF. You would think after the run he had last week, momentum would carry, and unfortunately it's not. Ward going to blend in with this pack of hounds.
Good pit stop by Jeff Ward.
Yeah, Ward looks like is going to slide it right in front of Tyler Dalton and right behind James Krahula, which was about the 6th or 7th position. So the top 3 are the only lead cars who have not pitted. Skrupa, Tommy Ryan, Ricky Harden. Jeff Ward is the first one out on tires. Actually, that'll shuffle once he crosses the line here in about 45 seconds. Mellendorf, Yazdik, Woodrow Mahan, Paul Pepper, Krahula, Dalton, Cohan, George, Cadell, they have all pitted. Other cars who have not pitted yet include Rich Jetty, Calvin Filarski, Don Ronkel, John Wilco, Randy Oakham.
Yeah, the leader's playing the long game right now. It's a Skrupa, basically, with the lead Skrupa's got right now, he can do whatever he wants. Okay, let's face it, Chris. I don't think he's hurting himself by staying on track here. They're not really gaining on him here yet. It's a pretty good lead back to Mellendorf, who finds himself with Mellendorf's 43 seconds back.
Sean, I'm a little disappointed in you, my friend. I'm the oval guy. You're the road guy, correct? What is the worst case scenario for a leader?
What's the worst case scenario?
The caution coming out before he pits.
Oh, the rest of the guys all still need to come in, Chris. So I don't know.
But even what I'm trying to say though is, if a caution would come out, say right now, you have Skrupa, who has not pitted yet and still going to have to make another stop later, where these other guys are going to stay out and probably go until their fuel number, pit again, and then be out with no more stops. And they'll be up front.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But I still like Skrupa's strategy. Listen, if you can separate yourself from the field by that much, okay, and keep the car clean and still keep running hot laps, which he's doing, I like your chances in the pit box of getting out in front of everybody, or at least getting out with them to race with them.
And I don't disagree with that. I've always been a guy who pits first, and here comes Skrupa to pit road, so he's must have been listening to us.
Yeah.
So Skrupa on pit road here, lap number 15. Now he should easily cycle out back to the lead here. And Tommy Ryan coming right with him.
Yeah, now just to see what Ricky does here. Ricky, the holdout. Ricky actually just got passed by Brian Mellendorf there.
Randy Yoakum coming to pit road. And Mellendorf's coming out of turn 14 right now. He's going to be the leader, I think, of this race. Trouble in pit lane. Who was that had trouble getting in? That was the Randy Yoakum getting into pit lane right in front of Ricky Harden as he was getting in. Tommy Ryan. As Skrupa had that hard angle off pit road, Mellendorf's got him. That's you're fine, Sean. And you saw Yoakum having the issues on pit road, but the one thing I wanted to say, Skrupa kind of has a disadvantage here as the pole sitter. The angle coming out of pit road and that wall, you don't get to come straight out. You have to angle it, almost like a 45-degree angle to get off pit road.
Yeah, the exit is a little bit tricky, Chris. You've got to be careful. We've already seen it clipped this evening.
Brian Mellendorf leading now on Josh Skrupa. We'll get the official timing once he crosses the line. But everybody but Filarski and Jetty have made their pit stops. Hey, what? Cars are climbing that curve over in the, I think it was a turns 8 area there. Yeah, they're coming in the left-hander here going to the carousel. So, yeah, and here comes Jetty to pit road now. So,
well, things definitely getting interesting here, Chris, after the pit cycle.
Yep, and we got the halfway point coming up here. But, by the way, we're so focused on the yellow. The halfway point's going to be coming here in about 4 laps officially. So we split 39 and a half. You kind of get 19.5. So
we'll call it 20.
Yeah, so that's why I say lap 20. But Mellendorf and caution is out.
Oh. Okay.
So if Skrupa and them wait one more lap, how interesting would have this been?
Very, indeed. Yeah, no, it would have been very interesting. And that really works out for a lot of guys.
So caution is out for the first time, and everybody's going to get back together, and it's going to take them a while to get back together. It's a 4-mile road course. Caution lap's going to take a good amount of time here. So what we're going to do is we'll step away real quick. We'll get everything together. We'll get what pit stops happen. We'll get our Postal Safety Honors Lucky Dog, because I think Brutus is back there wagging his tail at us. So we'll get that and all that good stuff and more next on the Global Sim Racing channel. The Bald and the Beard with you back here at Road America. Caution out. This is that competition caution that was planned by the admins of the Premier Racing League, basically throwing it sometime between lap 13 and 26. But we're coming up here on the pit stops, and we had questions asked in chat. Will we see them? Here's your answer. Yes, it looks like. I didn't see a point to this only because you're still got to pit one more time. Sean, am I wrong?
No, you're not. Ricky Harden thinks staying out is a smart move, as he does. Now, Ricky, one of those guys that pitted late there, okay, and only this is only what? He's only got one angry lap on those tires, Chris.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this works out. I just thought that you're going to need to stop anyways. I mean, if you're mid-pack, sure. If you're a Woodrow Mahan, Tim Johnston, Gerald Livingston back in 13, 14, why not? But everybody seems like it's pretty important here. Let's watch these pit stops, and we'll get our Lucky Dog Award given out here. Is everybody 4 tires and fuel for the most part here. Cohan, the first one out of his stall, and here comes Mellendorf. He'll easily get the win off pit road. Now watch how tight this gets. Everybody cooperates.
Yes, they do.
So now the Lucky Dog Award, as he's driving right now through turn number 5, I believe, is going to go to Randy Oakham. Put him out. The Coastal Safety Honors Lucky Dog Award. Brutus is literally running out the door right now to go to the bathroom. Your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and Services. Coastal Safety Auditors, lucky dog to Randy Yoakum, and unless there's another caution, that'll be the only lucky dog we get tonight. So I guess we'll take a minute to thank Coastal Safety Auditors for sponsoring that, as they do a great job with helping put this all together and things. And
boy, I hope Brutus gets a good run in out there.
Well, I'm listening to Krahula right now. He said there is a chance if there's a big wreck or something, we'll see a caution. Kind of like at Sonoma, I think we had a big wreck out of 11. That could happen again. So there is a chance Brutus will get the run and play again. Brutus has been a bad boy this week.
No, he hasn't. Leave Brutus alone. He's a good dog. Good puppy dog.
So they're still going to go one more lap here before we get the green flag, and we want you to be able to have all the green flag action possible, and we're going to try to get everything sorted out here. So we're going to step away one more time. You see everything right there on the Global Sim Racing channel side by side as you're watching the Patriot Fire Cup Series from Elkhart Lake. And back at Road America, as you've been watching on GSRC side-by-side, the cars are double-filed. We have a very interesting situation about to happen here as we are coming in to complete lap 19 to get the green flag. The halfway point is the completion of lap 20. So we're going to have one lap to decide who's getting the top 10 bonus points, and then we're continuing on for 19 more laps after that. So this is going to be interesting. And what's going to happen here? But Ricky Harden stayed out. He is only on like 2 lap tires. He's the leader. Brian Mellendorf second. Josh Skrupa has been the class of the field is third. You got Brian Yazik fourth. And then the wish we didn't want happening is fifth and sixth. Paul Pepper, Tommy Ryan, and then James Krahula, Jeff Ward, Nick Cohan in the ninth position there. And Jonathan Goodell in 10th as Harden is on the loud pedal up the hill to the green flag as we're back. And here we go, 4 miles to figure out who's going to lead it halfway. Sean, you might want to tighten that seatbelt up. But we're going to get interesting here.
The belt is tight, sir. We got a hot battle back here. Yazik, the only one able to be by himself. Mellendorf and Skrupa really battling.
Jeff Ward getting loose. They're spread out there, buddy. Calm down, boys. Everybody through turn 2. Skrupa up to second. Mellendorf trying to make a move. Brian and Brian show down to turn 5. Yazik underneath Mellendorf.
Oh, Cohan misses the braking point there. Turn 5.
Big trouble. Jeff Ward's around. Cadell. No caution yet. Yoakum just T-boned Jeff Ward.
Yeah, and Ward starts moving, and he gets clipped there by Yoakum. Man.
No caution.
Yeah, gets tipped by Krahula there. Ward gets tipped there.
Meanwhile, Skrupa is taking the lead up front. Jeff Ward is towed to pit road. The 8 of Yoakum's on pit road. Down the Canada corner.
Wow. That left me a little speechless, I gotta be honest with you. That's a tough break for those guys.
Yeah, that's definitely, especially when you look at Jeff Ward, who just flew through the field, and now bam.
And now he's done. Yeah.
Yeah, and then gets his own T-bone steak handed to him. So off of turn number 14, Mellendorf going to make a move for second here. Oh, we got a drag race to the line as Skrupa's going to get the 10. Harden gets denied. Mellendorf third. Yazik and Tommy Ryan, but Josh Skrupa is the American Pool Supply halfway leader. Congratulations to Mr. Skrupa and the American Pool Supply halfway leader. He gets 10 bonus points and maybe a free bowl of ice cream later. Who knows?
Mellendorf pulls off the pass on Harden there in turn 1.
Yep, and as you're seeing in chat here, just reading what Jester Rod said, he said, me hitting the wall was a black screen. That looked pretty black screenish when you saw it happen.
You called it, yes.
Yazik runs over Harden almost.
Oh, misses his breaking point there, and almost runs Ricky over.
That's
good
one of those deals
job.
where you got both your feet on the brake pedal trying to stop your car.
Wow.
You know how you get that look when you got something stuck to the wall and you got your hands you're trying to pull and you put both of the feet on the wall together? That's kind of what it's like there.
Ricky was really struggling there. He allows Yazik to move to the inside and pull off the pass in the turn there. Wow, what a move by Yazik.
Yep, P3 for him. And now the battle of the gold and black cars. Tommy Ryan and the 29 of Paul Pepper. As we said earlier, those cars look pretty much alike.
Looks like a Striper concert broke out back there, man. The yellow and black attack.
I was thinking more of working on the side of the interstate or something.
Boy, this is a great 4-car battle, though, man. That's some dudes fighting for position there. Yeah, you have to go all the way back 6.5 seconds to Nick Cohan. I'm sure they'll try and catch up at some point, but this is the battle to watch.
Oh,
Ooh,
Ricky dancing.
Ricky, don't lose that number, baby. Hang on to it.
Something tells me you were digging for that one.
Look at that. Tommy Ryan goes around up the straight there. Ricky's got to be careful here because he's got Paul Pepper all over him.
Yeah, I think Ricky just needs to back off. Maybe even let Pepper go and just try to work those tires back down. Those rear tires are probably pretty ticked off at him right now.
Well, they are, and you saw it right there. He runs it off again. Ricky is struggling a little bit with the car.
Down here to turn number 5, Yazik's starting to stretch it on Tommy Ryan.
Ooh.
Harden driving it in there.
Boy, Ricky is God bless the poor guy. He's just, I mean, looks like he's in a dirt car right now.
Those are fun.
And Pepper just cannot not find an opportunity to get around, and Pepper makes a little bit of a mistake there, and now Ricky's safe again for the moment. Boy, he's just doing everything he can to keep all 4 on the pavement.
Yeah, I have a feeling if Ricky makes a mistake, that camera might not be safe. But we obviously hope he doesn't, because we need the money for that camera. Through the kink there, almost takes out the DRS sign. For those who don't watch Formula One, DRS is drag reduction system.
Hey, you know what? I look up to the leader, Josh Skrupa. Not quite getting away from Mr. Mellendorf. Those two having a spirited battle right now. In fact, Mellendorf, that was his best lap of the race there. I think that last lap.
Yep. It is confirmed. 206.704. He was about 4/100ths faster than Skrupa, and then that time by Skrupa wants a 5 to an 07 flat, so a half second faster Skrupa was. So he's like, yeah, I got you.
Maybe he's getting a little tired of seeing Mellendorf up there in his mirror. You know, other interesting uses of DRS.
Oh, boy. Go ahead,
Sean. As our director was kind enough to point out to us, in the game of cricket. Yes, cricket. That is the decision review system.
Now, I wasn't going to say anything, as basically we have a little talking thing on the side here, where that's where we're getting these little chats from, for those who wonder what happens behind the scenes. Anybody else watching us tonight actually watch cricket? Because I have a feeling we're going to have crickets looking for an answer.
Tommy Ryan making a charge on Brian Yazik up here. We might have to go to that battle because Yazik is giving it up to him here in the carousel.
Yeah, Brian's got it in the carousel, yep. Now, one thing I was going to say is, who watches something on pay-per-view every week? You got to pay for it. Anyways, I digress.
You don't have to pay for anything on the internet, man. I didn't say that.
I'm going to leave that comment alone. Those comments mentioned by Sean Ambrose are not representative of the beliefs of the Global Sim Racing channel. Yazik underneath this. Ryan took it wide off Canada corner. Oh, side-by-side here is not the easiest thing to do.
Oh, boy. Some tense moments out of Brian Yazik and Tommy Ryan. Ryan
crossover for Ryan. Oh, bumper.
Give him a little bit of the chrome horn there.
All the way up to about 185 miles an hour down to turn 1. They slow all the way down to 85.
Boy, Devin Cannon just had a major major off. I don't know if we're going to be able to pick that up on a replay, but
Wow, he's got no nose or anything. Holy.
yeah, but it didn't end well for Cannon.
We can let you figure out what happened. Oh, Tyler Dalton just had something happen. Oh, wow, we got a fight back here. And Perula's got some heavy nose damage now. You see this fight here.
That might have been from that contact he had with Jeff Ward, to be honest with you.
Oh! Tyler Dalton in turn 2 turned Travis McQuiston and sent him packing. That's what the apology was. And that allowed Krahula to get past the 09 going down here to turn 5.
Yeah, it's a shame, but I think Krahula is going to really struggle with that front end damage he's got there on that car. These guys are patient. They may be able to reel him in.
So the question here, Sean, is when do you pit? We went green lap 19, so 20 to go. Do you go 10 laps and pit it and then get out there and run your last 10?
Good question. You know what? I think you make that decision here within about a couple laps. You see what the tires are saying to you here. I don't think anybody is going to try to go at the end of this race without taking some tires. I think you're going to want a fresh set of Goodyears to get this done. This track, as we've seen, the lack of grip here has been, well, disturbing.
Yeah, but this track is big enough too. If you get out there, can the fuel and the tires hold off? The first question is, can you go 20 laps on a tank of fuel? You're looking at 80 miles as Tim Johnston coming to pit road in the 54.
Well, Tim might know a little something there. That might be your strategy decision right there, Chris.
Yeah, he tops off the fuel and that's it. Now, I do want to ask, we got some drivers over here from the race, Jeff Ward in chat. If you guys want to help us with that answer, let us know how far do you think these guys go on fuel, because obviously you know what was going on out there. We don't have fuel systems up here. But we're guessing somewhere 15 to 20 laps at most.
Yeah, I didn't get to do a full fuel run in the car, unfortunately, so I'm not quite sure exactly what they're going to get to here, but I don't think they can go any more than about 20 to 21 laps, maybe 22, Chris.
Which, if that's the case, you can go all the way to the finish.
Right, and there may be a few cars out here that might be good for that.
I'll tell you what, Josh Krupa has not ran away from Brian Mellendorf. You made mention of this. It's only about 2 seconds or so between the two, and then it's about 6 seconds back to Yazik.
Yeah, and they keep trading fast lap is what's going on here. I mean, Mellendorf was the faster car in the last lap, and the lap before that it was Krupa. So it's right now it's just both drivers digging for all they can get. But yeah, Mellendorf doing a good job of keeping it close, only 2 seconds.
And just maybe looking for a mistake from Skrupa. Now, the one thing that might keep Josh Skrupa from making a mistake is, his iRating is a 46.81 on road. Now, I know no one's perfect, but a 46.81 on road is pretty good. It's nowhere near where I'll ever be.
It's not bad. It's a pretty good indication of a driver who has taken care of his business, done a lot of road racing, and has a pretty good idea how to get around a road course.
Yeah,
cars, though, I'll tell you what, this track, I think it would be a challenge to even the best road racer on the iRacing service, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You definitely can tell if somebody gets a 46.81 from MX5ing, starting in 10th and falling way back and just passing everybody who wrecks, and a guy who actually road raced. I'll let you guess who one of the guys that does the MX5 and lets everybody wreck in. Anyways.
Woodrow Mahan doing a good job here Checking in on him here real quick. He's sitting in 8th spot. Thomas George having a pretty good battle with him. Those two have really been hooked up for most of the race. George battling with a car with some damage on it. Mahan got some on his too on the rear end, but they are pretty much attached at the hip right now and having a lot of fun out there, Chris.
Yeah, coming through the carousel, and both of them taking it pretty wide. It's almost like the rain line there for a second. I know it's a corner you almost have to double apex, but they were almost running a rain line. And for those who don't watch road racing, the rain line is basically the opposite of the line you want to run when it's dry. So it's because there's nothing rubber-wise on the track, and there's a lot of grip there, so you try to run that specific line. As George is going to dive it in here, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, what jumped
off? He pressured Mahan into making a mistake. Yeah,
Wow.
Woodrow hits the bump there.
Somebody needs to put a rake out there on that kill. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they need to break that down, definitely.
John, were you hitting chip shots in there?
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm guilty. That's my fault. I didn't rake the trap when I got out of it. But Mahan going to lose a couple of spots there.
That explains where my clubs went.
As pressure for Thomas George. George put that pressure on, and he made a mistake. Nick Rahula coming in the pit. Got a couple cars making their way down here, Chris.
I think our questions are being answered right now. Rahula's in. Matt Murphy in. And this is lap 27, so about 12 laps to go. Travis McQuiston on pit road. Look like he had some issues.
You don't want issues.
4 tires and fuel for Murphy, as you see Tim Johnson on the screen there coming down the front straightaway. We haven't said his name much tonight, but he's just been out there minding his own P's and Q's. And he's one of the only ones to pit so far, so that early pit has actually gotten him past Krahula and Murphy here. So Tim Johnson definitely gaining some track position, but otherwise he's kept that car. He's one of the cleaner cars we've seen out here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got to break away from Krahula. Brian Mellendorf must have slipped up somewhere. I didn't quite catch it, but he has lost major ground now. All of a sudden, to Josh Scrupen now finds himself 4.5 seconds behind. He had a little trouble back here somewhere.
Looking at the last lap times, it was about 0.6 difference. Oh, Livingston. He has gone around over here in the carousel. Oh, Thomas George gets somebody in the carousel again. As a matter of fact, did Gerald Livingston earlier too?
Yeah, I think so, Chris. It's not the first time those two have hooked up.
Safe to say those two, speaking of carousels, will not be riding the horses together at Walmart.
Yeah, that's a good bet. That is a good bet indeed. More cars in the pit. Tommy Ryan, Ricky Harden.
Ryan pitting from the 5th position. Ricky Harden pitting from 6th. I think we're all going to need to pit for fuel here. That's what this is all saying. Now, who takes tires and who doesn't? It's the next question. Now, you mentioned a 45-second delta, and basically what that means is how much time it takes to get from the entrance of pit road to the exit of pit road, and that's not counting your pit stop. Ryan tops off fuel. He's gone. Tires for Ricky Harden. You see in the background there, Livingston's on pit road. Also, Cadell. Thomas George also on pit road in the 24.
You know, Chris, I'm afraid to even say anything because I don't want to jinx the poor guy. But Snoop Doggy Don is up to 10th, man.
Uh-oh.
Burning one down for 420 in the zigzag Toyota. And, man, hats off to Snoop Doggy Don tonight, man. Nice run. He's on the lead lap, having a solid trip out here around this really, really tough Road America track.
Now, for those who are wondering what he means by that, his engine he's talking about. All that shifting.
Yeah, well, again, I'm happy for the guy. He's having a really decent run here.
Screw up at a pit road. Sorry to cut you off, Sean.
No, it's all right. He's still going to have to pit, but I got to be honest. Again, to maintain this lead lap and out there running competitively, good job. Now, Ricky Harden coming into the picture behind him. We're looking at Skrupa and Mellendorf coming down the pit lane.
That's our leaders. Coming with him. Paul Pepper coming with him. Yep. Pretty much all the leaders coming. What do you know? 10 laps to go.
Yeah, you were all over that, Chris, for sure.
Something I finally got right.
Yeah.
Woodrow Mahan coming to pit road. Dalton's coming. Cohan's coming. So the strategy has begun. Everybody, tires and fuel, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't see anybody playing around yet here.
Be careful, Rick Thompson's coming out. And here comes Tommy Ryan. Let's see if he can get Mellendorf. Will not. So the two cars will stay ahead of Ryan with the newer tires, because Ryan, if you remember, went fuel only. Ricky Harden's going to get past Pepper. Oh, Don Runkle's off. He's zigzagging into kitty litter again.
You see, I had to go and do it to the poor guy. Boy, they've really spread out to these pit stops. It can get a little perplexing trying to follow the action at times, but trust me, folks, there's plenty of it on track. James Krahula getting set up for a pass by Thomas George. Heading down to turn 5.
And Krahula's former number passing his current number into turn 5 to 24 by the 4.
Yeah, George had been setting that up since he got out of the pit. He pit the lap before Krahula did. Oh, hang on there, Thomas. He cycled out right behind Krahula and then basically spent a lap setting that up. Gets that move done on the damaged car. James Krahula finds himself back up to 11th.
Now, Sean, with the racing we've seen tonight, we've seen plenty of passing. And what are the passing corners here?
The carousel. The good opportunity.
Here's a good one carousel. Here, too.
Yeah. That's.
Rick Thompson spun right in front of these two there.
Oh, wow. Didn't even catch that. Let's go on board with Rick Thompson here. We'll just take a look at it. Yeah.
Oh, he just gooses it. No.
Got to be careful when you're getting back on there. That's tough. He spins the tires and brings it all the way around out of Canada.
Probably blaming Canada right now.
Oh, Canada.
Much like Southport. Good move there, getting out of the way of those two drivers. But we were talking about passing zones. Turn 1, obviously down the front straightaway. Turn 2, maybe if you get a good run off 1. Turn 5 is a good one. And then you probably don't get another one until Canada corner?
Well, again, I think there's ground to be made up in the carousel when you're taking advantage of guys. You put the pressure on somebody there in the carousel, it gives them a tend to run out. You can get under him there if you play it right. But, your next best opportunity is down into Canada. Maybe pull off the pass there after the kink, heading down to Canada. So those are really good spots. Of course, the last turn, turn 14, don't overrate that one. That can be your best and obviously your last chance to make a great move.
That just shows you there's plenty of opportunities to pass here, because you get a lot of those courses that you run at. We'll use Sonoma, for example, a couple weeks back. There weren't a lot of passing zones. It was basically turn 7 and turn 11 were like your two places. Here, there's plenty of places you can pass. Josh Skrupa out to a 6. Looks like actually about a 4-second lead, because it shrinks down on my screen here. But a 4-second lead over Brian Mellendorf. Tommy Ryan in 3rd. He's got about 5 seconds or so up on Yazik. And Paul Pepper having a great run in the 5th position.
You know what? I'm back here watching James Corolla get around Don Runkle for position. Moving Corolla up tonight, sliding Runkle back to 10th. Woodrow Mahan, we were on this battle just a moment ago. Mahan now trying to make the move here on Runkle also as they head down into Canada. Oh, a slow car there. I think that's Rich Jetty they're getting by there. Just getting out of the way for them, but now Don gives up those positions. This is what I was looking at. Now Don, he's been out there. He's working on 12 laps, 13 when he gets by Chris. That'll be 9 laps left to go when he comes across the line. If he's been out there soft pedaling it, maybe Runkle can do this without a pit stop. I don't know.
He's coming to pit road right now, so the answer is no.
Yeah, there we go. The answer is no.
But Runkle going to come to pit road now as we have 9 laps to go. Josh Skrupa been the dominant one here this evening, and he's got that big lead on Mellendorf as he goes down here into the carousel area. Hits turn 8 there, I believe, into the carousel. Didn't get a chance to mention the weather. Beautiful Chamber of Commerce weather in Wisconsin. 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. So hopefully the campers enjoying their race and enjoying some Johnsonville brats because, well, that's all they eat up here.
Oh, yeah, the brats are on. The beer and cheese brats are on the grill, baby. And, it's the smell when you walk in this joint. It's really overpowering.
You see Tommy Ryan there in the 3rd position. He did not take tires, so he's done a pretty good job holding his own there with no tires.
Yeah, it seems to really only cost him about a second to the leaders. The good news is no one behind him is really making a charge yet. Yazik and Pepper, or Yazik being the closest one, Pepper way back, almost 11 seconds.
Yeah, this is definitely spread the field out a lot. Almost to the point to where the leaders have caught the back of the field, but these pit stops definitely put a twist in it.
Yeah, they did. That last round of pit stops, Chris, you just nailed it there. It really spread this field out, and we lost a couple of really good battles because of it. One we haven't lost is, James Corolla and Woodrow Mahan. They are that 9th position is not settled. Woodrow still really bringing the fight here to James. Those two have been together here for about 3 or 4 laps, mixing it up. And right now, James got the advantage heading up the straight down into turn 1.
Yeah, you mentioned Corolla there, and you see Mahan just trying to catch him there. We're on board with that Torino. It's actually a Fusion, but he's got Torino in the car, so we'll call it Torino. But Woodrow just trying to keep in tow there, that 4 as they go underneath the Sargento Bridge there. Down here to turn 5.
Yes, Chris, Sargento, another fine product when you talk about cheese. Also great with the bratwurst.
Seems like the best place to put cheesy jokes together.
We're missing a beer sponsor. That's all it's missing here at this point.
It's a family show, Sean. But I will say there is Miller Park in Milwaukee, so there you go. Now, Josh Skrupa entered the points here in the 13th position. I was just looking at his stats. He has 1 career win in the Patriot Fire Cup Series, and it came last season. So Josh is looking for win number 2 of his career. That win actually came, as I'm looking here real quickly, at Charlotte last season in October. This would be his first road win if he's able to get the victory tonight as he comes up on the Back of the pack here, you'll catch Murphy here in about a couple laps or so. But you're watching the battle on screen. Ricky Harden, or was Ricky Harden, Thomas George now, has gone by Tim Johnson there. You see Harden just going up the hill there in front of him.
Yeah, all our leader, Scrupa, has to do is just continue to get this car around here for about 6.5 more laps. He's in good shape. Thanks to Devin Cannon there in the YouTube chat, he may be celebrating with a Yingling beer here and a brat and some cheese.
Sounds like a good Saturday night. Look out, Wilco's in the grass letting the leaders go by. Smart move. Unfortunately, that 62 car is taking a beating.
Yeah, Wilco has done a decent job of staying out of the way, but that car's been beat up since very early stages of this race, Chris.
Watching this fight up ahead of Wilco, Thomas George and Tim Johnson. This fight still continues up ahead for the 7th position. Harden is driven away. But Thomas George, he's been all beaten up and stuff. That 54 Tim Johnson, I don't see a single ounce of damage on that car. Tim Johnson, the definition of you keep it on the track, you're going to get a good finish. Now, it looks like Krahula and Woodrow Mahan are catching the 54 here,
yeah,
so you could have a battle here very quickly.
They are. They're catching them quick, too. They were about 3 seconds faster on that last lap, and they are gaining on him. Now, as he heads through the kink, they get there, and Krahula, Mahan, both able to keep it on track. Let's see what happens down in Canada. The pressure is on here.
Now, just to mention, for those who don't get confused, this is not the actual country of Canada. It's a corner called Canada Corner.
I think everybody's got that.
You know, oval people like me could get confused easily.
Oh. I mean,
Easily confused. I had a dream earlier this week that I was driving on dirt at one point, so.
Were you throwing the rear end out there on that FedEx truck there, Chris?
Can't say that out loud.
Yeah, Krahula has now officially caught Tim Johnston. Getting there's one thing, passing him's another.
Or you like to say.
Time to milk the rooster. Krahula with really, really good chase here. He's putting a lot of pressure on Thomas George. A lot of speed right here. Very, very fast. And now you got to get on the brakes. Hang on.
Now, obviously, we should mention real quickly, Soup is coming up here, and I think they're going to be on soon, if not already. You can check them out on the other Global Sim Racing channel for the Lionheart Retro Series racing tonight. Speaking of roosters and milking.
Boy, Krahula and Mahan both ganging up here on Johnston.
That's that older tires right there. Both of them are going to go by Tim. So Tim's going to fall all the way back to the 10th position now because of that. And Tyler Dalton not far back. Scrupa crossing the line, 5 laps to go. Believe it or not, 20 miles.
Well, this has been a fun one. Not a lot of carnage today. Everybody been on pretty good behavior here, Chris.
Yeah, the only big wreck we've seen is the Jeff Ward incident there in turn 6. Or was it? Turn 6, I believe it was.
Yeah.
That's really been the big wreck we've seen. Otherwise, it's been pretty much clean and green, just cars going off into kitty litter and contact with others and things. But it's been the Josh Scrupa show. Everybody's made their final pit stop. They're good to go to the finish. Now it's a matter of just keeping it on the asphalt and getting to the finish. Now
Nick Cohan with trouble coming off of turn 14.
Oh, right there,
yep. Spins all over the place. Cannot gather it up. Finally does. gets the car straight and up the hill. Finally, let's look at it on the replay.
The man who scored his first career win after try at Texas Motor Speedway just a couple weeks ago gets it off, puts 2 off, and them rear tires, they don't like the green grass. He just goes for a little lazy spin there, keeps it going, keeps the clutch down so don't stall it, and back on he goes. I think he might have only lost 1 position when it's all over with, and that was to Travis McQuiston here. And how about a run by him? He was spun out once off turn 2, and he's up here in the top 15.
Yeah, McQuiston doing a really, really good job of recovering today, and for his efforts, he's going to get himself a top 15 finish, and he just takes care of business here for about 4.5 more laps.
Tyler Dalton has gone around Tim Johnson, so that just shows you the worn out tires that Tim has, but Tyler's gone. Tyler off the track.
Misses that braking zone there and just runs it off. Does not make any contact, but hey, give it back to Tim Johnston.
Well, when all else fails, just do it again. As in go catch Tim Johnson to pass him, as they say. So, but he's got to look up because here's Gerald Livingston running in a 12th position. You know, when is somebody going to sponsor that 64 car? We got to get that man a sponsor.
Yeah, we need to look into that. You're right.
He's like Scott Eckrich last year. I mean, Eckrich had potentially the easiest sponsorship opportunity for his car, and nobody would sign him. I mean, Eckrich hot dogs. Hello! Be on board with Livingston there in that 63 car, right? 64 car.
64.
I'm sitting there trying to, like, whatever, see.
Yeah, the Krahula-Mahan. Yeah, it hasn't gone away, Chris. These two still locked up. Now Mahan finally able to get the pass done. Krahula looked to maybe try and pass him over. It doesn't happen. Is he going to try and get position on him here? No, sir. Mahan going to hold it down for now.
Yeah, Mahan holding on to that position, as you mentioned. Ron Krahula, actually, if I remember correctly, just a couple laps ago, Krahula was ahead of Mahan. So there must have been a pass there somewhere in the last few laps that we just didn't catch.
No, Mahan just took that position from him there, Chris.
It's what happens when you're not paying attention for a split second.
No, Woodrow takes that position from him, just moves up now to that 8th place spot. But Krahula, the battle is not over yet here. 3.5 laps to go for these two cars.
Note to any broadcaster listening to us tonight, pay attention to everything going on. So Skrupa crossing the line, as you mentioned, 3 laps to go here. So 6-3, carry the 1, 12 miles to go.
We do not do math here at GSRC, sir. How many times have I told you that?
I try to, but the jinx seems to be in this booth. I don't understand it. Inside the booth, I could do all kinds of math. I mean, 2 times 2 is 22. We all know this.
Matt Murphy does a good job of getting out of the way for Brian Mellendorf, who we haven't talked about much here lately. Why? Well, because he's in 2nd place, all by himself. And good job there, though, again, by Matt Murphy to get out of the way of Mellendorf, who is digging as hard and as fast as he can. But Skrupa just not going to give up that lead, man. He still 7.9 seconds up the track here for Mellendorf.
Yeah, Mellendorf, this is one of those deals where don't put the car in a spot to where you're trying to get more than what it's got. You know, 2nd place looks like all given to him right now, as he's about 6 or 7 seconds ahead of Tommy Ryan. So, you know, he's pretty much got 2nd in the bag. He's just got to keep it on the track here for the next couple laps, and I'm sure he'll be pretty satisfied with that finish. And just doing some more math here in chat. Apparently, Devin Cannon says 5 times 5 is 25. I think 5 times 5 isn't that a wood piece of wood? Anyways,
5x5 is an in and outer. Oh, Tyler Dalton off the track. Nick Cohen able to. I'm sorry, that was Devin Cannon. My bad. Devin Cannon off the track, and it allows Nick Cohan to get by. I'm sorry, I'm even worse. It was
I was going to
Travis
say, wait a minute
Christian.
here. Devin Cannon's doing math ambient off the track?
I saw an 8 on that car, not a 9. That was my bad. McQuistion making the mistake and giving position to Cohan up to
there goes the
14th.
sign. Ricky Hart just got the DRS sign on the back straightaway in the kink. It only took 38 laps. Now, obviously, it's not going to go anywhere, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Comes out of the carousel, and as we mentioned, you want to hit the apex in the kink. Ricky got a little too much, and rip sign.
Devin Cannon chiming in. He's been way off the track. Yes, we know. My bad. Devin been out of this race for just a bit, Chris.
It happens.
It does, yes.
Any driver loves a mention. So, as Skrupa comes up into turn number 6 under the Corvette bridge, he's actually coming to the white flag next time by. The Patriot Fire car looking to win the Patriot Fire Cup Series race. It's an awesome paint scheme, by the way, the red and black and white. It's my 3 favorite colors. Going through the carousel, going to head up here towards the kink as he works his way up on a lap car of Don Runkle. That should be the one he catches here. Runkle likely, I don't know, he might catch him by then.
It's going to be a shame. Don had managed to keep the car on the lead lap. That will, we'll see
Tell you
here.
what, gonna fight back here for 10th as you're seeing it on screen. Gerald Livingston. Oh, Matt Murphy's blown up on the going down the Canada corner, but we'll watch this fight here as Livingston drives it in there.
Him and Cadell going at it door to door there through the turn. Up under the Corvette bridge now. Another tough left-hander.
Livingston gonna complete the pass as Skrupa takes the white flag. Final lap this time. 4 miles for Skrupa to go as this fight continues. Still side by side. Wow.
Cadell
spinning the tires a little bit there.
He was. Those tires were a spinning. Cadell hanging onto it good now, though. Keeps that line there on the inside, not giving it away.
A good fight as Cadell. So, whoa, Cadell almost lost it to kink. Meanwhile, Skrupa coming through turn 6 one last time. Sean, what a race. This guy drove the perfect road race.
I really did. Obviously came in with a good plan and came in with what looks to be a little bit of practice under his belt here at Road America in the Monster Energy Cup car because he has been running all night. He's going to complete this pass on Don Runkle. Don doing a good job of getting out of the way. Thank you, Mr. Runkle. Give it to Josh Skrupa now. He's going to make his way through the kink one last time here, Chris.
Through the kink and down the Canada corner. I'm pretty sure Don Runkle said, look, I don't want to run one more lap. Go by me. And that's pretty much what he did. As Skrupa's going to come down the Canada corner and he'll have 3 more turns and be on his way to a victory here at Road America. Here's through Canada corner up the left-hander to turn 13. And into turn number 14. What do you know? The Patriot Fire car in the Patriot Fire Cup Series going to victory lane. Josh Skrupa, first win of the season, second win of his career, comes to Road America.
And up the hill comes Brian Mellendorf to take the second place on the podium. Followed by Tommy Ryan, Chris.
Wow, the no-tire strategy for Ryan going to get him on the podium. Nice job by Tommy finishing P3 and might be the point leader.
Yazik going to take fourth tonight. Paul Pepper making his way up the hill here. He's going to round out the top 5.
All right, Sergeant Peppers is Lonely Hearts Club top 5. Nice job there. So we'll step away. We'll get the top 3 rounded up. We'll recap the race and get ready for Gateway coming up next week on the Global Sim Racing channel. And back at Road America as we complete race number 9 of the Patriot Fire Cup Series. The Elkhart Lake 250 is in the books. Josh Skrupa going to victory lane. Now, before we go through the rest of our top 10 here, should mention if you're looking for the Lionheart Retro Series at New Hampshire, you can watch that race on our other GSRC channel. As soon as we're done here, you can flip over to that or flip to it now if you want to. We'd rather stick with us for a couple minutes. We're selfish. Anyways, top 10 for the race this evening. Group of Mellendorf. Tommy Ryan with a third-place run. That should get him up to the point lead. Brian Yazik. Paul Pepper finishing top 5 for Loud Pedal Motorsports. Good run for him. Ricky Harden, Thomas George, Woodrow Mahan, James Krahula, and Tyler Dalton. Those two had a pretty good war down to the checkered flag. Dalton went off track there in turn 13, and that gave Krahula the position.
All right, and we're going to give 11th spot tonight. That's going to go to Jonathan Goodell. Tim Johnston, 12th place. Good run for him. Gerald Livingston, 13th. Nick Cohan, 14th. 15th, going to go to Rick Thompson tonight at number 76. 16th, Travis McQuistion. 7th, Calvin Filarski. Don Runkle going to finish a lap down. Just gets past there at the end. Great race out of him tonight. 18th place, Josh King. 19th, Matt Murphy. 20th.
And the rest of your 28 car field, these cars mostly having issues tonight. Rich Jetty, John Wilco, Devin Cannon finishing behind the wall, Randy Yoakum, Jeff Ward, Michael Krobach. There's a positive here. It's not 30-something for him. Justin Rodden and Rita Rundell finishing in the 28th position when it is all said and done here this evening. As we're going to go to Victory Lane. Josh Skrupa joining us right now. And Josh, the Patriot Fire car in the Patriot Fire Cup Series Victory Lane here. Second career win for you. Obviously, Charlotte being that first one last season. Now you get a road course win.
Oh, man. I tell you what, man, I'm worn out, but it's about time we finally got a win. We've been running up front all year, it seems like, minus those couple of weeks we missed. But, man, feels good.
Now, Josh, you definitely showed your experience out here on the road tonight. Talk about the race itself, because this isn't an iRacing fixed setup. We had to go to work and put a setup together to something that will drive smooth. And it looked like a lot of people had a good handling race car tonight.
Yeah, I was a part of making the setup, and that was the goal, to just try and get it to handle well so that everybody can drive it. That's always the goal. That's the point of the fixed setup racing. I thought it drove good. I know it's the way the new model is. If you don't save enough, it just goes nuts on you, and you can't get it back. And I think that's what a lot of people were battling tonight, and I think we just were able to overcome it the best.
Brian Mellendorf gave you a pretty good fight there, especially in that late part of the run there. He was with you, and then finally in the long run, you started to stretch it out. Were you worried about him, or were you kind of just saving the tires and knowing you had a couple of tenths in the bag?
I was definitely worried about him. He's a great road racer. He's one of the best, if not the best, of keeping the rubber on the car. We worked together a lot for the GSRC Road versus Oval race that we were able to take home the win for PRL. The strategy was just to try and stay out front and then get enough of a gap that you could just take it easy and not push. Because if you push and you put a wheel off, man, you're going for a ride. Road America is not very forgiving with some of the runoff.
Well, Josh, you did a fantastic job tonight. Congratulations on that second victory, and get some momentum going to Gateway next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad we're not going any 1.5s here for a little bit. I like the kind of short track feel that Gateway has. Looking forward to it. But, man, got to thank Patriot Fire. Norm Pelletier at MP3 Designs, great painter. Check him out. And, of course, Unacceptable Racing, you guys at GSRC. I look forward every week to going back and watching it.
All right, buddy. Well, appreciate your time tonight. Good job on your victory, and we'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Hopefully it's in Victory Lane again.
Absolutely. Josh Grupa getting his second career win, first win of the season tonight, Sean, and you have Mr. Mellendorf.
I do, Brian Mellendorf. Buddy, I'll tell you what, when I was thinking about drivers who had a chance of winning this race this afternoon in the woodshed, I said, watch out for old Melly. What a run tonight, buddy. Congratulations. Way to get her on the podium.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun out there. Setup was a little difficult to handle at times, but made the most of it. It was fun racing around everyone, and didn't have to pass as many cars tonight as I did last night, so that was the good thing.
Well, Brian, one thing I want to ask you about, I did get to turn some laps in the car. Was grip really a problem out there throughout the run?
Yeah, if you just set the car in the corner just a little bit wrong, it was really wanting to rotate too much and made it really hard to get on the gas. You just had to be completely straight. Otherwise, you were just going to burn it up. And
now, what was the strategy going into the race for you guys as far as, you knew what your window was going to be for that caution flag. How did things play out for your team this evening?
Everything was spot on. I had written down on my notepad here to pit at lap 12, and we did that and come out up front. And I had made a note in my mind to pit on 26, and I stayed out. And Josh pitted the next lap, and that was all she wrote. But it was almost completely to plan.
Well, you had great pace, and you kept the machine clean, sir, and that was the key to getting yourself on the podium this evening. And another good points run for you. That will see a little bit of improvement there for you in the battle for the championship. Congratulations tonight. Who would you like to give a shout out to, my friend?
I just got to thank Josh for building this setup. He did put a lot of work into it, and James and Ricky for running such a great league, and you guys do an awesome job at broadcasting this and chiming in from time to time in the Facebook group. And got to thank my girlfriend Caitlin. She lets me do this all the time, so I really appreciate that.
Well, the girlfriends, the wives, the significant others, very, very important to everyone's racing career because, you leave some behind when you do this for a bit. But hey, listen, Brian, you had a great race. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Chris, that was our second place finisher, Brian Mellendorf. I think you've caught up with Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, Tommy back with us again. We talked to him earlier tonight and talked about the momentum he could have going into tonight and potentially getting that point lead. And what do you know, Mr. Ryan? You kept all four on the track and a P3 for you.
Yeah, I knew coming in, man, I had to be really careful and just run my race and not overdrive the car and drive the track. And freaking, I still was able to hit Brian Yazik in the ass going up the hill. And I was so glad he freaking didn't spin, man. But, that was really about the only mistake I made. I overdrove a couple corners, but for the most part, I kept it on the asphalt, man.
Strategy. You were one of those who did not take tires from what I saw. Is that correct?
No, I took tires every time.
Oh, you
I
did take tires. Okay, it looked like you didn't take tires. Okay, but you got a great stop and came out there in third, and you were able to keep your distance on Yazik.
Yeah, Brian kept me honest the whole run, and I've raced around here so much, and when those guys get on pit road before us, they freaking kill us. And I was like, man, I have to get on pit road before he does even have a chance. And I did, and I came back out, and man, I had like a 5-second lead on him. So I tried to take care of my tires a little bit, gave up about a second. He got within about 4, and then we stayed right around there. I think he got to 3.5 a couple times, but it's a hell of a run, man. I can't keep up with Scrupa, man, but he's quick. But yeah, a great run, man, for unacceptable. Got a top 3 here.
Well, Tommy did a great job. We'll see what the points look like, honestly, with the drop here, but potentially being the point leader with 2 races left will make you pretty excited.
Yeah, I just got to keep my head down and keep digging for the last couple here. But, it's I'm going for the whole deal all the way through November or whatever, so it's going to be a long season. I just, there's such great competition in this league, and there's really clean drivers, and everybody gets a little upset and, feels like they got drove dirty from time to time and whatnot. But, I wouldn't want to race anywhere else. Everybody bitches about somebody at some point, but it's all in fun. I wouldn't want to race anywhere else, man. It's all good.
Well, Tommy, we appreciate your time, and we wish you the best. Obviously, we'll see you next week in Gateway.
10-4, y'all check out northerntool.com. Springtime, we're selling a lot of good stuff.
Attaboy. Tommy Ryan joining us tonight, and from one bald to a bearded guy with a bald beard guy.
Brian Yazik, buddy, a great run tonight. Just missed out on a chance for the podium. Did it come down to strategy? That's what I need to ask you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was kind of a race to see who would get to pit road first, if it was Tommy or me. But I figured if I came in the next lap, I could have maybe run him down. But we were so even throughout the run that he kind of maintained it, and I got a little close, but not close enough.
Well, it was still a great run. It's still going to be a great points night towards that championship. It keeps you fighting here up near the top. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we finished third at the halfway break, or took third at the halfway, and got about 8 bonus points there. And I just happened to be glancing up at the point standings from Kansas, and it's going to be a great points day. I think we could be all the way up to 5th in the season standings. So that's heck, with how the season started, we'll take that.
Yeah, I bet you will. Yeah, buddy. Well, hey, nice recovery. Keep it going. Keep it up. And we'll see you next time, my friend.
Yes, sir. Got to plug HPP Simulation, hppsimulation.com. That was how I was able to outbreak Tommy and Ricky a couple times, and I did it with a smile on my face. Thanks to these HPP pedals and Mark Hargett. So I got to plug them and Loud Pedal Motorsports, and yeah, we had a good race and back at Gateway next week, and I'm actually pretty excited about that one. Maybe get a couple notches up there.
All right. Well, we wish you the best. And that was Brian Yazik, driver the number 55 Blue Oval Ford HPP Simulations machine. And Chris, man, that was a great road course race tonight, buddy.
Not to question somebody, but I couldn't help but hear Brian say that his brakes helped him pass Ricky Harden. I couldn't help but think about the one time he almost ran him over, but that's another story. Final thoughts, Sean, for the finish.
You know what? I was really, really impressed with the pace of the entire field. And really, aside from the one incident that we had there, what a pretty clean race on, again, what I thought was a really, really tough car track matchup. And these boys put on quite a show for us tonight.
They did do a great job tonight, and it was definitely fun to watch. And, of course, next week it's really going to get interesting as one of the first short track races. If you want to call Gateway a short track, at least the race is like one. But we'll be there coming up here next week. So special thanks to the Premier Racing League for putting on the Patriot Fire Cup Series. Also thanks to the software and hardware that we use for our broadcast. You can be listed on your screen.
Yes, sir. And also thanks to our musical contributors, Erica Colm and Casey Lalonde, whose music you can find at the websites listed. For more information about future races, you can see the list on screen, or you can go to globalsimracingchannel.com, where you can check out our past broadcasts and check in on our current schedule of events.
We're also on Twitter. You can check us out at GSR Channel. Also Facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel. Now, the next time we will be on the air with the Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup Series again next Thursday, round 10 of the season. Now remember, 11 rounds in the spring season, so we're going to get towards the end of that here very shortly, but we're going to be at the Gateway Motorsports Park just outside of St. Louis there in Madison, Illinois. Yeah, it's kind of weird when it's set up like that, we're outside of St. Louis, Missouri in Illinois. But anyways, we hope to see you at 9 o'clock, of course, on Thursday Eastern Time. But congrats again to our winner, Josh Skrupa, and a reminder, our good buddies at the Lionheart Retro Series at New Hampshire, you can see over on our other Global Sim Racing channel right now. For Dougie Beard, I'm Jed Yaman. For Sean Ambrose, and I'm Chris Scala. Race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.